And then let me go ahead and record. All right, so I go to record mode. Oh, okay, it ain't went live yet, but it's okay. All right, so the recording has started. Hopefully I got this writing down. So I knew that was gonna happen. All right. Okay, got it. So I had to try and mute the YouTube so it won't be playing on YouTube and I'm hearing myself talk a couple seconds later. All right, Vincent, you got your mic hot. All right, thank you, Vincent. All right, so Ms. Battles, good. You up Florida? So it's great that you decided to do real estate. Pretty much just I'm doing a test right now. I have not sent any invites out at all to see how many people will get on. Right. We are in the midst of right now having people that's been with us for over a year, and some people get on every week, no matter what. And last week we had a holiday, and I just wanted to test the market to see how many folks got their own reminders or know to get on or what have you. So that's why you see very limited people on right now, and it's not a big problem for me. I've been investing in real estate seriously for about 4 years now. I started after I graduated from college, and basically what I always loved real estate as a kid. So when we played Monopoly and we played the game of life, it basically showed me how you can make money over and over again and become very wealthy. Real estate is a very for sure way to build wealth. And why I call it for sure way to build wealth is because as long as you pick the right people to put inside of a rental property, then every year the rent goes up according to cost of living. If the rent goes up every year according to cost of living, and cost of living goes up every 3 years in the real world, 3 to 5 years, then you are ahead of inflation. When I say in the real world, so cost of living inflation raises every 3 to 5 years, right? They say if you buy a home, first time you buy a home, in 3 to 5 years, that house is going to appreciate the most that first 3 to 5 years, and then it's going to kind of like, go at a slower pace. So in real estate, you already bought a house, you buy a house at the right price when you first buy the property, then you already ahead of the game because you got a great deal up front. And in 3 to 5 years, if the house appraises more and appreciate more, then you made money on the front end. The second part is if you have a renter and they pay a deposit, right? Now you got the deposit in, and if you have your rent contract wrote up a certain type of way, then that rental contract, that deposit they paid, is still profit for you. It's still profit for you. This is this education that you don't get right away. This is stuff that you pay to get right here. They teach you how to put a non-refundable part of your rental contract for processing fees, administration fees, for carpet cleaning fees and stuff like that. And most people, including myself, just sign the contract. We just sign the contract and we pay the deposit because we want the property, we want the home, we like the location, we like what we like, and we're not reading the fine tune. And if you read the fine tune, what you gonna do? Tell the people, no, I don't want the property because I gotta pay a non-refundable $100 deposit when you pay, you may pay $1,000, but $250 of it is non-refundable because $100 going towards carpet cleaning, $100 going towards administrative fees for out processing you out the property, and then $150 going towards getting a carpet clean professionally or something. I mean, who gonna argue with that when you first buying a property? Nobody, pretty much, right? And if you do, then you ain't got to rent the house. Go to somebody else to window. So that's a couple ways where you even though you get a deposit, is son of a non-refundable. and you make money right off the back when you rent it out. Now, some people do a 1%, 2%, 3% raise every year. I've been staying in an apartment before I bought this house up here in the Virginia area, the Northern Virginia area, and I promise you, my with COVID-19 going on or anything, my apartment complex did not hold back on charging me more money for rent. They went up every year accordingly. And if something wrong, they're gonna still charge you. If you break some, tear up something, they find you liable, they still charge you, right? So with the rental property area, that's the benefits of having a rent property. You're gonna keep on making money, it's gonna keep going higher, and you're gonna be able to stay ahead of inflation. And not last but not least, but another thing is if you do have a loan on a property, the tenant is paying the loan off, not you. The tenant is paying the loan off. So every month, every time they pay, they're buying your home for you and building cash equity back up again for you to have more money. So when you do sell the property, you're making a bigger profit. So Miss Battles, I mean, did I say anything that excited you about why you getting on this call?
Yes. My biggest thing is with the rental part that you're saying, the cost, I know it's a little bit different, like as far as like insurance wise, right? If you having other people live in it, it's like, is it a different rate and like the risk of it? I mean, is what I'm trying to figure out. My biggest thing is like the risk of the renters and stuff.
So what you do is, if you have the first rental property, you're gonna have the cost of the rental property that it's gonna be, right? And what you probably want to do is have a higher deductible for liability, right? So if somebody get injured or somebody get hurt, then you just maybe want a higher deductible. You know, are you buying now or are you renting where you live at now?
I'm renting right now.
Have you bought a home before?
I've never bought a home before.
Okay. You know, you have a car, right?
Yes.
All right. You pay, you know how when the insurance company asks you how much coverage do you want for personal liability, for comprehensive, for all the different areas?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just like that, when you buy a house, they ask those same questions. So if for your first rental property, if you want to feel like if that's something that bothers you or concern you, then what you would do is you just up amount of individual insurance or liability insurance, so that if somebody do get injured on your property, or if something happens on your property, then you will have insurance in place that's covered that. That makes sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, as you get more properties, what you will end up doing, once you get to 4 and 5 properties, then you would go about buying umbrella insurance, right? Umbrella insurance covers a wealth of things, but you got to have a certain amount of asset in there, and you have to be paying a certain amount of amount of money, and you have to have a certain deductible for an insurance company to give you an umbrella insurance. And it covers a wealth of things. It just cover you whenever umbrella insurance. And I'm not okay. Fact check me too. Now go back and do your homework. Go talk to an insurance company, because I'm not a property insurance seller. I am a licensed life insurance seller, but I'm not a licensed property insurance seller. So I'm just giving you ideas and thoughts, and I have to put that disclaimer out there that you have to fact check. But umbrella insurance cover anything over the amount that you have insured on the property. Or so let's say like I got 5 properties. On one property, I only have $250,000 on liability. The person get injured, several people get injured, and they suck up the $250,000. Then the umbrella insurance pick up whatever's over that amount of insurance, over the $250,000. That's how that works. Okay, so did I answer your question in a feasible way?
Yes, you did.
Awesome sauce. Okay, well, do you have any more questions? I mean, feel free. I mean, that's what it's about. I want to help as many people, and right now, honestly, I'd rather do questions and answering tonight so that I can help many people. Because, like I said, it's a test. I really did not send out one email inviting nobody to the call. So everybody that you see logging on this call is people that just committed and just saying, hey, I want to be on. Mr. Terry, I think his phone was dead. That's why he ain't on, but so everybody you see on right now just got commitment. And I know that I got probably some text messages from some other people that's pretty committed. They have it saved in their phone or save it on a different area. But I did not shoot an email out. And last week was a holiday. We didn't have it. And I just want to see what commitment was out there, because I take a lot of time on my day to be on these calls to try and help people be better. And we do it for free. And we definitely want people to take advantage of it. However, I do want to see sometime the commitment of the people that's getting this information.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
What do you know about, like, say for instance, people who don't want to take on another mortgage, like say me renting. Of course, I don't feel comfortable renting because I feel like I'm paying a mortgage already. So that I already feel a certain type of way about that, but I'm not ready to buy a home. I'm pretty sure it's people who do own other properties and still rent or, make money on the side that way too, if you're able to do it. But what if you, like right now, you don't want to commit to a mortgage? What about investing in like commercial real estate and different things like that? Different, like what is it called? Like RITs and stuff like that. Like, do you know anything about that type of investing? Like if you want to do kind of like small stuff and then kind of receive, dividends or something like that, on a smaller scale.
So I would say that you got private money lender. You can be a private money lender in real estate, right? Because it's a real estate call, so I want to give you some real estate information. Boss kind of got to go. So what I would say is you got a couple things. Some people got crowdfunding, where you put your money and you pool your money with other people, and basically you all get a residual income off dividends or whatever the profit is, y'all share profit. But private money lending is when you have lazy money. This is good for lazy money. Have you ever heard the term lazy money before?
No.
Okay, so when we look at lazy money, we look at somebody that's, when you think about lazy, what comes to mind when you think about lazy?
Just, not really doing anything with your time, just slacking. That's pretty much, just something sitting around, type of.
Absolutely. Perfect. I love it. All right. So sitting around, not doing nothing, right? Not being productive. So what's the other term? What's the other term for money? What's the other term for money? That's the actual scientific term for money.
You're not talking about assets or anything. You're not talking about
It starts with a C.
Currency.
Yes, absolutely. So a current, when you look at water, does water ever sit still?
No, it moves in a current, like, it up and down.
Exactly. Thank you. So I'm doing this for to build a picture of, I'm trying to build it up, right? Lazy money is money that's sitting still, but money, real name is currency. So currency is supposed to be keep moving. So if you got money sitting still, i.e. in a bank account, then your money is sitting still and you're not making any money off your money. You just saving money, and the bank is using your money as a currency because they're lending your money out to everybody else and they're benefiting from it, right?
Right.
So when it'd be lovely, it'd be so awesome if I receive money. If I'm a banker, I'm the loaner. I put my money in the bank, and the bank put my money in a little bow tie, and they say this is his money, and we're gonna keep it right here. Nah, they take your money, they give you 0.1%, 0.2%, 0.5%, 0.2% on your money, and then they lend your money out for 9%, 12%, 15% on credit cards, auto loans, and home mortgages, and you name it, line of credit, HELOCs, personal loans, all kinds of stuff. They make all this money out of your money, but they give you 0.2% or 0.02%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of your money being lazy to you and you put in a saving account, some people say, why won't you invest your money into an investment account, which is like a private money lender? Case in point, I do BRRRR. You ever heard of the word BRRRR? B-R-R, B with 4 R's behind it?
No, I never heard of it before.
All right. So the word Burman, you buy the house, you renovate the house, you fix it up, you rent the house out, you refinance the house, then you repeat. So you take all cash to buy the house. You take cash to rehab the house. Sometimes if a person doing it by themselves with their own individual money, then that slows the process down. If I got to buy the house with my money out the bank, if I got to rehab the house with my money out the bank, then now I can't do nothing else with 2 and 3 or 4 or 5 more houses because I got to finish just one house until I refinance and get my money back. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So private money lending come in now, because if I have somebody else that have funds that's lazy, sitting around in the bank, ain't making no money, and I say, hey, look, I got plenty of products. I got like 4 people right now trying to sell me their properties. I can buy all 4 properties. However, I can't fix them all up with the resources I have. So do you mind if you look at some of these properties and see if you like the deal, if you think this is a good deal for you, and I can give you a return on your investment each month of 8%. Now, this is the same money that you're making 0.2% on, 0.1% on. You know what I'm saying? Now you finna make 8% on that same money that's just sitting around. How good of a deal is that?
Yeah, that's a good deal.
All right. Now, this is the better part of that deal. How's your money secured? How do I know that if you don't mess up, if you screw up, or if you default, what can happen? You put yourself as first lien position on that property. Everything goes through a title company. You don't give that money to me. You don't give that money to the other investor. You give all that, any money that you don't give to a title company. A title company gonna hold that money in escrow. And the title company gonna be the one that the lawyer is, or the title company, a lawyer, closing lawyer, what have you, whoever y'all get to do is gonna be some kind of attorney behind it. And they're gonna put you in first lien position against that property. So if the if the investor defaults because they messed up, or the house, they end up doing it, you can foreclose and get your money back plus the property. So if a person is halfway done with the property, they done fixed it halfway up, almost got there, then all of a sudden something happened, then you can say, well, you know what? You said you'll be done in 6 months. Here it is a year later. I work with you for 6 months. I got to foreclose on this property, and I want to go ahead and force you to give me the money, give me the money back, or either give me the property. Now you got a property in better shape for a little nothing. How does that sound?
Sound like a good deal to be.
Well, people do that every day. Every day. That's another way to private make money on your money without committing to owning a mortgage or having a mortgage or doing anything.
I also had looked into, like the tax liens, where people that's being like, I guess they didn't pay their taxes. So then you take on their taxes, but that's lengthy in time.
Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. Now, each state is different, correct? So I would say that if you look at adjudicated property, definitely look at the terms of the agreement. You have some states that says you can buy okay. So it's several reasons. I'm just going to look at 2 reasons, right? There's several reasons why people do invest in adjudicated property. One, some people want a higher return on their money and they don't want their money to be lazy. So instead of me putting my money, let's say I got $100,000 in the bank. Why am I still putting money in the bank to save? Okay, I'd rather put my money into an asset, what you said earlier, asset. I want my money to keep moving. So I would start putting anything over that $100,000 into adjudicated properties. I start buying adjudicated properties all over, right? And when I start buying my adjudicated property, if the contract or agreement with the county, the parish, the state, that area, the county or the parish, because I'm from Louisiana originally, so we call them parishes, and you're from Florida, I think y'all call them parishes too, right?
No.
Oh, y'all call them counties too? Okay. Okay. So y'all just got, wait a minute. What y'all got like us? Y'all got the Napoleon Law on it.
I don't know nothing about none of that.
Because I know that Florida and Louisiana got two things in common, and I thought it was parishes. I guess the Napoleon Law. We got different kinds of laws instead of the same basic laws like everybody else. I think that's what it is. But nonetheless, squirrel got off target. So what I would say is one reason people buy adjudicated properties because they want their money to make more money with the return on investment of the interest rate at the present time. So I got $100,000 in the bank. I don't want to keep putting money in the bank and just saving it. I'd rather the rest of the money that I'm making go into something that makes me more money. So I buy adjudicated property, and for the next year or year and a half, I'm gonna make 3% to 8% on this money and get a small return on my investment. And if after 3 years the property is mine, then if the people want to come back, and I forgot the legal term for when they come back and pay it off. I can't, it just escaped my brain. But if they want to come back and pay it, they pay me everything I put in plus the 8% or 3%, whatever the terms is. So I just made money on my money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a short-term goal. Short-term goal to every 3 or 4 years or whatever the term of the county or the parish, to make money on your money. Long-term goal will be, hey, I want to buy a block. So I'm in 10 years of working. I make pretty good money, and I don't want my money to just go in the bank anymore. I want to start buying a block for later on, 10 years down the road. So I started strategically looking at a block I would like to buy that's got a lot of properties that come up adjudicated. And then I just start buying 2, 3, 4, 5 properties, whatever my money can afford, each year for the next 5 years. And then the next 5 years, wait for those properties to mature, saying that, hey, nobody redeemed them. Yeah, they would call redemption. Nobody redeemed them. Nobody came back and got them. Now I'm going to put my money into them, and then I'm going to get clear title, and I'm going to have me a whole block. Now, when they go in there and work on these properties and make it happen, because you want to wait till, if you're doing it that way, you just really planting your seed. You just like a fruit tree. You plant a seed, and then that tree gonna grow, and it's gonna bear better fruit and more seeds and more money. So money is like seed money. I like to teach folks that when you go to work every day, that money you make is not money you're supposed to be paying for a vacation for. It's not money you're supposed to be buying a car with. It's not money you're supposed to be buying your pleasures with, and you're going to visit family with, and all that stuff. That's seed money. You're supposed to pay your bills, your mandatory bills, and you're supposed to put that money into an investment savings account, which is an asset growing account. And then when you go and buy your new car, the asset should pay for your new car. The money that you plant into that asset, the return on that should buy you your vacation to the Bahamas, to pay for your you to go to the NFL football game, to go to the NBA game, to go to a ski resort. You shouldn't be saving money from your job to have fun with. That money you work so hard for. So why don't you put that hard-earned money into something gonna bring you more money back, more currency back? That's why I try and teach folks. I mean, that's just my philosophy. That's my thought pattern with the money I work for every day. I'd rather buy a rental property, invest the money from my job into a rental property, and then every month, that same maybe $5,000 I put as a down payment on a house, every month bring me back $700. So if it brings me back $700 in the first year, 7 times 12, right? I want to put $5,000 in for a down payment. I made a 100% return on my investment in the first year. Now, every year after that, that's profit. As long as the house ain't tore up or ain't fixing on it, it's all profit, really. Do that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And so I got another question. So how do you feel about doing Airbnbs?
I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's a good, if you know your location and if you know how to be a good hospitable person, because if you are in the game of Airbnb, you are basically replacing the hotel. You have to act as the hotel. So when somebody walk into a hotel, I like, I shouldn't say it, but I like the bougie people that, what I'm saying, got little cookies right there at the table, you know what I'm saying? They come in and got me some water, and here go your gift, and here your token. Thank you for visiting us. We just want to make this stay something you will love. I like staying in beds that's all fluffy, and the pillow, you don't sink in it. You actually lay on it, but it kind of medium firm, but you know that somebody put some money into that settings. I like the TVs that swivels, not the TV that you got to get up and move. It swivels, So when you do Airbnb, I guess you just got to know your audience that you're catering to and understand that, hey, when things don't go right, you got to have people on target to go there right then and there and fix it and make it right. Now, if you want to be in ratings matter with Airbnb. So if your ratings are down and people not giving you that 5 stars, then you don't get those bonuses and incentives, and people read those ratings and they won't come back. You won't get the good people. You'll get the mediocre people. So it's just all about presentation. It's all about being hospitable to the client and making your location among all the other Airbnbs stand out as one that people would like to come back to. That give you some good insight on that?
Yes, it does.
So far, am I giving you any, you think so far I'm blowing hot air, or I'm giving
no,
you some, okay.
No, you're giving me some good, I have some, stuff, because some of the questions and stuff, you touching on some good points, because on one end, I iffy about, renting and everything. Because one thing I feel funny buying something and I don't have my own home. So I kind of felt a little funny about that. So I'm like, it's kind of it felt backwards to me. So that's why the market is kind of slim in Florida right now. So it's kind of tight. I guess it's probably tight everywhere. So I haven't seen too many properties, or they're overselling them, like houses that normally would go for a certain amount, it's like double and everything, and they're not even newer homes. It's like, oh, that type of stuff is going on. I did look into like Georgia and different places like that. I found some good homes that's, townhomes or something where I could, kind of like you said, flip it or whatever and have somebody rent it, and looked at like the market, how much it's going for, how much the mortgage would be. That's why I asked about the insurance, because it's a little different when you're renting. The insurance is different when you rent, and then when you living in it, like residential versus investment properties, the interest rates and different things are different as far as the insurance part and stuff. So that part I'm kind of getting to, but I think at this place that I'm at, I'm more of using lazy money, but not going full fledged into anything, because I kind of just want to get my feet wet type of thing. So I don't want to spend like a lot of money. I just want to see how let a little bit of good amount of money work for me, just so I can just taste it, how my money would work for me. So, and then I'm kind of like, I work in fraud, so I'm very particular about who I'm going to put the money with. So that's another issue. I'm kind of like the risk of it all, and who can you trust to hold your, like I know you said with the other part about the title company, that did make me feel a little bit more secure about that. Like somebody not running off with the money or whatever. Kind of like those roofing companies, you pay them and then they're not even really bonded or whatever, and then they run off with your money type of stuff. So absolutely. I'm kind of iffy on that part. So I'm just trying to like do maybe like invest in somebody else's, and I just get some return to it to see my money grow a little bit, my lazy money type of thing right now, until I'm able to really jump out there and buy a whole property to do all this other stuff. So starting off small is kind of where I'm trying to go.
Absolutely. And that's a good mindset. I mean, you touched a lot of good points, and I heard a lot of good things in that. Yes, definitely be leery about who you do private money lending with. You should not be doing it with strangers. You should do it with somebody that you know and trust, and you should build a rapport with them. So basically, like for instance, I would dare come to you and say, hey, I got a good property here. I want what you do with it. That's actually illegal. So it's actually illegal. But people do it. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, people don't care about the law because they like, hey, look, that person want money, they want money. But you really got to build a rapport with the person. And you should be looking at the property from a standpoint of how is this a benefit to you as well. Um, so, I mean, in my teachings, I mean, I done paid for a lot of knowledge. All this stuff I'm telling you is the stuff that I done paid to learn. I'm giving it for free because I want people to be financially free. And if they're willing to listen and willing to take action, then I'm glad for it. So this call right here is for people to help folks get out there and take advantage of people like me that love to learn. I'm a school teacher by trade. I enjoy learning and I enjoy teaching. That's just why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not doing it for any other reason than I just like to do it. So touching the point on that, let's talk about that. So a person should not, I mean, you'll have people out there with portfolios that you build a relationship with over the course of times, and you'll be able to see some of the products they've done. You'll be able to see some of the relationship they have, and you'll be able to see what's going on with them. The title company, like I said, again, is the buffer that you're working with the title company and you're wiring money to a title company from your bank account, not wiring money to an individual. And you'll be able to, research the title company, research and you already have a rapport with the person to see what's going on. So they're just kind of ways of doing it. And the only reason why I know the process is because I lent my money out to my friend, my brother now, for a couple months, and I seen the benefit of it. And I've been knowing this young man for several years, and I still was leery about it as well. And I seen the products. I mean, he done fixed houses, he done flipped so many houses, and he do them very nicely. And he got a system, and he walked me through what it gonna happen and told me what to do next and what's gonna happen next. And he sent me pictures as the process is going on to make me feel comfortable with what was going on and make sure I knew what was going on. And when we ran into some snafus with the refinance or with the process, he definitely gave me a heads up, and he actually said, hey, look, tax me for being late. Tax me for this, go ahead and tell me how much you want to charge me for doing it. And I thought I was being greedy a little bit when I did it. But when I found out how much money he made at the end, I wasn't mad. I'm like, oh, okay, I should have asked more. So he was really so it is what it is on that part. So I just want to make sure you know that you will have an actual contract, you will actually have actual paperwork. You're still gonna feel funny about it, but that's how they work. And you don't want to do it with somebody you just met. You want to build a rapport with them, a relationship with them. And that way, you have an ongoing relationship where you do this over and over again. You touch bases on being backwards, by buying a rental property instead of buying one for yourself. I would beg to differ. I want to teach college students to come straight out of college buying rental properties, and they don't need to own a house. I believe college students should go back home and, if possible, live with their mom and dad, and the money they make from that, they make from a job that they just started to work off. Don't go out there and get debt. Don't go out there and buy a house. Don't go out there and buy a nice car. Go back home, live with your parents, and give your parents a little bit on the bills. Hey, mom, dad, I'm gonna take care of the electric bill, the water bill, and the gas. Right? And any other money you make, go ahead and buy a property. Go put your money down on a property. Take that 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. I don't care. Put it down on a property. Put a tenant in that property, and let that tenant pay your mortgage off. Pay your mortgage off, because they put money down on the property, and that means you're buying it FHA or conventional loan. Have a tenant that pay that mortgage down. Then when that tenant start paying that mortgage down, then go ahead and buy another property. Still stay at home with your parents. Still live like you're not making money, and then buy another property. And then take the profit from the two houses that you're making, that tenants are paying down a mortgage on, and then you build your house from scratch. Or you go buy you the house that you really want. And the tenant, the rent that you're making, the profit you're making from those two properties, pay for your way of living and pay for your home, pay your mortgage, and now all they're doing is the money that you're making, that from your job, you pay the gas, the water, and electric bill. It's all about mindset. We teach our kids to get out and get your own so early. We put our kids out the house so fast. And I'm like, why? Why go teach your child to go pay taxes on land, and city taxes for the land that you already paying city taxes and taxes for? If your house big enough and your child can be respectful, to respect your hours and respect your way of living, then your child should be able to, come back home, and you should want your child to have a better lifestyle than you ever had. So, if a parent is willing to give that child that edge where they do take on the electric, the water, and the gas, or something like that, they already used to pay the electric, water, and gas, then hey, let somebody else pay the mortgage. And that's all you're doing, is training your child to pay mortgage. I told my son, I do not want you to get out of my house when you get grown. I should have a house big enough that you should have a private area of the house that if you want to have company, you should have company, as long as you're respectful to me and my wife and whoever I'm with, at that time, then this is how we should do it. That's what I want to teach my kids. And it's a mindset. Now, I'm saying I'm right. I'm not saying that nobody's right, nobody's wrong. I'm just saying that, hey, I'd rather my child, if you want to go to college, go to college. When you come from college, you don't have to go out and get your own. Not if you don't want to. Now, if you just want to do that because I'm too strict, or my rules are too bad, or the way I'm around, or you tired of being around me, then hey, go out there and get in debt. Go out there and struggle, and go out there and make a way. But I want my child to get out when you don't have to struggle. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not old school. I don't feel like people have to learn the hard way. I don't feel like people have to get out there and struggle to learn because I struggle to learn. I would rather make it easy for people. That's why I'm doing this call. I want to make it easy for people. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made. It's free. I'm giving you the information.
Yes, it's been very, very helpful, because I just, sometimes people, I'm all for generational wealth and everything. I feel like I'm a little bit behind, in a sense. It's never too late to get out there and everything like that, but I just feel like I do my research. I know a little something here and there, but I feel like I'm working so hard on someone else's job that I can't get to that financial freedom, or I'm mentally exhausted after work. I'm on this call because I made it a point. Like you said, it's up to you to kind of do what you need to do. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, I don't want to go, broke doing it, but I do want to use some lazy money, but I also like to have the push of knowing that I have something saved. I don't want to just, put everything, on the line, but if you want to put like 1,000, 2,000 towards an investment, okay, that's fine. But to say I'm just gonna full blown put 10, 20,000 on something, I'm not at that place to do something like that. So you got to have something to go to the table with for those certain properties and stuff. So that's my biggest thing, is trying to figure out where I belong in this big world of all these opportunities.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I commend you. I commend you. Absolutely. No, you're right. And I would say that you're not, you're not too late. You're right. You're not late. And you may be behind a power curve in a sense, but I think that we don't ever get it until we get it, right? We never get to the place where we can do things like this until we reposition ourselves around the right people that's speaking the language that we need to hear, right?
Correct.
So, in hindsight 50-50, I wish a lot of things were different for me over my years of living. But I just realized that sometimes you got to be put in a certain position and be around a certain people to get it. And that's why, God has allowed us this opportunity for you to come across Meetup, and for me to be available tonight with this spirit. And now you getting fed some information that you rightfully probably, could have known a long time ago, but you may want in the circle of the people that giving out the type of information at the time,
Correct. And like you said, it's about who you know. A lot of times you got to put yourself in positions with other people that's thinking this way to even get to this point. So I guess, like join those certain groups of, real estate people around town and everything. But then you still got to be kind of leery about the situation, because everybody doesn't have the good intentions. So then you got to, like you said, you have to build those relationships and see how they move within the industry to know that they're good people and they're not gonna, run off or whatever. I don't know. I think I'm just, because of what I do, I'm just paranoid.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. No, absolutely. 100%. I mean, our experiences is what make us, right? And with your job you have, of course. I mean, you're going to be leery about a lot of things, and that's why, the good thing about having a person like you on a team with anybody, you're that person that will be second guessing and questioning the motive behind things when other folks just being naive and going forward, right?
That's true. Yeah, because I'm trying to get my certification in certified fraud examiner. So I see all of I'm watching everything. What are they doing? What are they talking about?
No, absolutely. No, I love it. I love it. I can
I'm
I can
just
find strengths in what you do. I can definitely find a strength in having you a part of any team because I'm a trusting person, and I'm one of the people that just say, what, if you burn me, you burn yourself. You don't burn me, you burn yourself. Because you're gonna miss out on a good person in the long term.
Oh yeah, because I truly believe in karma. I mean, certain people think that they getting over or whatever, but it'll come back around sooner or later. It might you might be looking up right now, but you eventually it'll come back full circle. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that everything happened for a reason. So hopefully, if you do more of these, I can come on and get some more information because I'm big on generational wealth, and maybe I could pass some of this information down to my friends because I have a lot of friends who are like, oh, when all that dog.com and all that stuff was going on, I mean, everybody be trying to jump on certain things, but you got to know what you're jumping into. You just, all that Bitcoin stuff, and I mean, I'm all for that too, but I just got to have more information. So I'm just not gonna just put my money in something and don't have no idea what it is at
Absolutely.
all.
No, absolutely. You ever read the book The Richest Man in Babylon?
No.
Yeah, that's basically what it talks about. It just breaks down saying, they break down different situations in the world, and it's old school style, and it just goes into depth about how certain things you should not do and should do, but it gives you the ideal, and that's definitely a book that I would encourage you to audiobook or download or whatever, or
What
if
is
you can
it
find
called again?
The Richest Man in Babylon. The
Okay.
Richest Man in Babylon.
Mm,
Oh.
okay. I'm gonna between studying, I will look into that.
Yeah, I do
But
audiobooks. So I do audiobooks a lot. What I do is I mean, we spend a lot of time in our cars, correct? And
yes, we do.
it's instead of listening to hip hop and R&B or blues like that, I so love. I do love all that, rap, all that. However, I like to be educational. So when I'm driving from one place to another one, I turn the audiobook on and I feed my brain stuff that I love. And I mean, I love real estate with a passion. So I'm hungry for it, and whenever I can get it, I'm greedy. I eat it up.
I mean, because real estate is something that is pretty. I mean, it has its ups and downs, but it has a consistency that certain things don't have. That's why I was looking into like how the commercial real estate and everything, because people are always in a business, like certain things like apartment complexes and everything like that. That's just a consistent money. Is people are moving into apartments. That's always going to be going. So that's why I was looking into those RITs before, because that commercial real estate investments are kind of consistent. It isn't that risky. Like I'm kind of risk averse, so I look
Mhm.
into certain things like that. But yeah, this has been very beneficial. I'm definitely gonna keep at it and continue to look into it, because like you said, sometimes we spend a lot of time on social medias and stuff. I was looking at my time that I spent on it, and I could be a lot more productive for other stuff. So
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I mean, like I said, you touched a lot of points when you were talking earlier. I mean, I wrote down all the stuff you were saying. And I take notes when people talk because, even with the fact, people get mad at me all the time because I'm like, I don't like working for someone else for them to get money. I'd rather work for myself and I get paid, right?
hmm
And you say you working all these hours, but guess what? They benefit from you just get a check. Somebody else
correct.
getting wealthy.
Oh yes, correct. That's why I said maybe I can do my own consulting doing fraud, because it's a section in what I'm studying now with the contracts to do this on my own. I can do, the same stuff for small businesses for myself. So
Absolutely.
sometimes you just gotta look at the bigger picture. So if it mean I have to study a little bit longer for myself, in the afternoon, that's what I have to do. But it's a lot of money to be made. It's just trying to figure out how to do it if you don't have that background or don't know anyone who does it. Because some of our, I have older parents and they're not into that. They go to their job and come home. My mom is retired. My dad about to retire. They don't know about this type of stuff. They don't. So I didn't have that to, hey, mom, do you know about a stock? She ain't studying no stock. She just relaxed. So it's kind of like, if you don't know it, you got to either learn it from, seeing it on TV or people being around the right people. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of like that. So I did say this year was the year of reflection and trying to get it together. So hopefully I'm on the right track with everything, and I'm going to try to continue on with this.
No, you on the right track without a doubt. I mean, everything you're saying is logical. Everything you're saying is well thought out. It's not like you just, blurting out a whole bunch of, rhetoric. So you brought out a whole bunch of points. You can't go to your parents and talk about certain things. When I talk to my parents about what I'm doing, they all like, my mom's supportive, don't get me wrong. But my dad, he helped rent houses, but he don't like my process, how I'm doing it. He's like, yo, you got paper money. He's just da 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 da. I'm like, okay. But now he's like, okay, tell me what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I moved faster than anybody else. But I didn't learn this, through just trial. I mean, I learned through trial and error, but I did pay for a lot of trainings. I paid for a lot of books. I paid for a lot of audio books. And I'm one of the people like you. I don't make a move too fast. I'm risk averse as well. And I just found the way to say, okay, if I put 5,000 in and I make that money back in 1 year, then everything after that is profit. Okay, this is not Einstein. This is kind of smart. When it come down to, I think earlier you made a statement about you don't want to lose big and everything like that. But I mean, I know so many folks. I went to college. I got my master's degree. And I know people that have spent a lot of money for college and they're not even working in that field. They're not even working that field. I mean, you done paid $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 for 4 or 5 years of your life you'll never ever get back, but you're not mad at the college, you're not mad at the government, you're not mad at nobody. You like, oh, well, I work at Circle K. Oh, well, I work at Walmart. Oh, well, I work here. I work there. I work wherever. And you done wasted so much money on just knowledge that you're never using. Whereas in real estate, if I buy something and I lose money or I get messed over or whatever, I did not get messed over. I just bought my sense. I just went to college in something that I love to do. I just invested that money for this knowledge I got that I won't have to make that mistake no more.
Yeah, but that's true. But it hurt a little bit.
It hurts. It hurts, but hey, look, for to have that debt that you're gonna be paying back for Sallie Mae and Fannie Mae for years on a doggone degree you didn't even get. At least with real estate, if I lose $5,000 right now, yeah, that hurts, but I still got the property. I just got to figure out a different way to get the money to fix it up to get it done. You know what I'm saying? I still got something out of it. I learned what not work. Now I can do it so much better and I can make more money because I would never ever make the mistake. So it's just, like I said, it's all in perspective. It's all in hindsight 50-50. And if we knew beforehand, like, I mean, if I went to school to be an educator. I am an educator. I'm a certified educator. I'm a certified principal. I'm a certified driver's education. I'm a certified coach. All the money I can add up for all that, I still ain't got a return on my investment from the education system. Still ain't. But now in real estate, I promise you, all the money I lost in real estate, I'd have made a return on that 100 times over, probably. Now, can I be honest with you? Being in teaching and education is I love it. I love it. I loved every time when I saw a kid make a basket for the first time. I love every time when I was in class and I talked about health education and a kid started figuring out, oh, so I don't have to stay big. Oh, this is what I need to do to lose weight. Oh, this is how I help my grandma out because she's been ill for a while dealing with this problem. And because you taught me this, coach, now I can go home and try to tell my parents this. When I taught driver's ed, how I told kids, hey, when you in the car with your parents, you can't correct your parents. They got bad habits. what you can do is learn from it and softly, when you're driving with them, show them the right way to do things. Not tell them they're wrong, because then you ain't gonna never drive their car.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot replace money for what I did when I taught. However, I have not made the money back that I invest into education from education. I have not. I just enjoyed what I do every day.
But yeah, but at the end of the day, one thing you're saying is sometimes money isn't everything when you love what you do. So if you
Absolutely.
love what you do, then the money comes with it. So, sometimes it's, I think a lot of us lead with always the money part of it. But then if we think about it, like, what's the real reason? I mean, financial freedom is always something that everybody looks for. But if you love what you do, that's just as much of a bonus too. So.
Absolutely. And that brings me to my other point that you mentioned earlier too, because I was listening to you. Like I said, I'm taking in everything. And when you said that, hey, you think about going to business for yourself, and because you would like financial freedom as well, and you're making someone else rich by doing a business for someone else. Then, if you got a passion for what you're doing, I definitely want to encourage you to keep going forward with your plans, with getting the certifications you need, investing the money, so that you can be the boss and you can make the money that you're making. And especially if you love what you do every day. Definitely find another stream of income like real estate or stocks and stuff. I tried the stock market out. I was against the stock market out for years. I'm still against the stock market because it's too long of a return on my money, and it's so shaky. It's too many things to control it. And you brought out the point that with the real estate market, yeah, you have ups and downs, but I promise you now, with COVID-19, I didn't have no down. I actually was up more with COVID-19 because rental assistance programs came in place, because other things came in place to help the tenant out, to make sure the tenant is taken care of. I actually won during that opportunity because people was actually finding ways to give me deferred, what they call it, deferred payment for my mortgage, just in case my tenant ran into problems. And then the government said, hey, look, here goes some other incentives for you people that dealing with tenants. So it was actually awesome. And then now in the stock market, I put a lot of money in the stock market, and I lost out most of it. I mean, you know,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
mean, you didn't lose it unless you sell. Honestly, I didn't lose it, but it don't look good when you put the money in and it go down. It don't look good and go in a backwards direction.
Right.
So I'm with you, and I look. The time is 9:45 for me, and we've been on the call for 54 minutes, and I mean, been nonstop educational. And thank you so much for your input. Thank you so much for your questions. Bring your friends. I think that this was better than me doing a presentation on some other stuff that I wanted to do presentation on. I saw your name. You was on in a timely manner. I knew you were serious. So I yield to that fact. And I just went with my gut feeling that this would be better to have a dialogue with you other than presenting some stuff to you.
Yes, this was very helpful.
Well, thank you so much, Sabrina, for being on. Thank you for everybody else that got on, because again, I didn't send any reminders out. So everybody got on this call that got on and logged off for whatever reason is on because they wanted to be on and they're committed to learning more. And let's keep this going. So next Monday, every Monday, we're doing this at the same time, same place. Next week, I'm gonna try to look over some of my rental. I told a young man that I won't be ready for him, and I was going to present that tonight, but I'm going to look over in more detail, give me more time to look over it in more detail. One of the programs I got on my computer for a software for rentals to manage rental properties. So I'm going to try and go in more depth on that, and then kind of give an overarching picture of the program and present that next week if possible. But if not, then we may just do another open dialogue with somebody else that got questions, like your friends that you're going to tell them to be on the call.
Okay.
Awesome sauce. Well, have a great evening. I hope y'all all have a great night, and looking forward to hearing and seeing y'all next Monday.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.